It was another long day for Mia. Her son, Ben, had been sick all week, and despite working overtime as a waitress, she could barely keep up with the bills. Every day felt like a struggle, and by the time the evening bus ride home came, she was utterly exhausted. The journey from the city to her modest apartment was long, but it was the only quiet time she could find to gather her thoughts before going home to care for Ben again. She was seated near the back of the bus, her head resting on the window. The constant hum of the tires on the road and the rhythmic swaying of the bus lulled her into a near-sleep state. Her tired eyes fluttered closed as she clutched the worn leather strap of her bag, her body leaning slightly to one side. Before long, the gentle swaying of the bus became too much, and Mia dozed off, her head tilting gently onto the shoulder of the man sitting beside her. She didn't notice him at first, and when she did, it was too late. Her fatigue had taken over. She was too tired to care. The man was sharply dressed, his suit perfectly tailored, and his posture straight, despite the cramped space. His cologne had a faint, expensive scent, but Mia barely registered it. The only thing she could focus on was the soft, warm comfort of his shoulder. She let out a soft sigh of relief as the bus continued to rock her into a deeper slumber. But her peaceful nap wouldn't last long. The man, noticing her drifting off, stiffened slightly, unsure of what to do. He could have moved his shoulder or shifted away, but something kept him still. He glanced down at the woman beside him, noting her worn-out expression, her messy hair, and the exhaustion that seemed to radiate from her. For a brief moment, he found himself feeling an odd sympathy for her. He was a CEO, used to making hard decisions and dealing with stressful situations. But this was something different. He could see she was struggling. The weight of it all was evident in her tired eyes, even in her sleep. However, the moment didn't last long, and before he could make sense of his thoughts, the bus reached her stop. The screech of the brakes jerked Mia awake. She quickly sat up, disoriented, realizing she had been leaning on the stranger's shoulder the entire time. Her cheeks turned bright red as she fumbled for her purse, apologizing profusely. "I'm so sorry," she stammered, standing up quickly to exit. "I didn't mean to—" But the man, surprisingly, didn't seem annoyed. In fact, his gaze softened as he looked at her. "It's fine," he said with a gentle smile, his deep voice calm. "You looked like you needed the rest." Mia paused, taken aback by his kindness. She gave him a small, embarrassed smile and nodded. "Thank you." But just as she stepped off the bus, something unexpected happened. The man, still sitting in his seat, reached into his briefcase and pulled out a card. "Wait," he called out. Mia turned around, her brow furrowed. He handed her the card. "If you ever need help, feel free to call me. I run a company that helps single mothers like you get back on their feet." Mia blinked, shocked. She didn't know what to say. I don't know what to say. Thank you." The man nodded, his face serious. "No need to thank me. Just take care of yourself." With that, he gave a small wave, and Mia stepped off the bus, still holding the card in her hand. She stared at it for a long moment, her mind racing. Was he serious? Could he really help her? But the skepticism was immediate. Why would someone like him be interested in helping a single mom struggling with bills? Still, she couldn't shake the feeling of his warm, gentle gaze. It had been a long time since anyone had shown her kindness, let alone offered help so openly. The days following her bus ride with the stranger were a blur of exhaustion, errands, and caring for Ben. But that card never left her thoughts. Every time she opened her purse, it was there, a reminder of that brief, strange encounter. The words on the card seemed to taunt her. "I help single mothers get back on their feet." It almost seemed too good to be true. After another week of late nights and barely scraping by, Mia finally gave in. She dialed the number on the card, her heart pounding as she did. "Hello?" came a voice on the other end. It was the man from the bus. Hi, this is Mia. From the bus. You gave me your card." She felt a mix of nerves and uncertainty. "Ah, Mia, I remember you. I'm glad you called." He paused for a moment before continuing. "How's everything going?" Mia hesitated before answering. "Not great, to be honest. I'm struggling. A lot." There was a brief silence on the other end. "I know it can be hard, but you don't have to do it alone," he said, his voice calming her. "Let me help. Come to my office tomorrow, and we'll figure something out." Mia could hardly believe what she was hearing. She had nothing to lose, so she agreed. The next day, Mia found herself stepping into the sleek, polished office of the CEO. The tall glass windows gave a panoramic view of the city below. The contrast to her small, cluttered apartment could not have been more stark. He greeted her with a firm handshake, and they sat down in his office. The conversation began casually, but soon the tone shifted. The CEO asked her about her life, her struggles, her goals, her dreams, and Mia found herself opening up in a way she hadn't with anyone in years. "You're an amazing mother," he said. "You're doing your best, and that's what matters." Mia's chest tightened. She had never been told that before, and hearing it from someone like him felt like a balm for the wounds she had carried for so long. "How can I help you?" he asked. "I'm offering you an opportunity to come work with us. We're starting a program that helps single parents with job placement, childcare, and housing assistance." Mia felt the air leave her lungs. Was this real? Could she really have a chance to escape the endless cycle of struggle? She was overwhelmed with emotion. The man's eyes softened. "You don't have to make a decision right now. Just think about it. I'm here to help." Mia left the office with the card still in her hand, but this time it felt different. She wasn't holding on to a glimmer of hope anymore. She was holding on to the possibility of a new future. In the weeks that followed, Mia took the job the CEO offered her. The transition wasn't easy, but with every passing day, her life began to shift. Slowly, the weight of the past started to lift, and the hope for a better tomorrow started to become a reality. Looking back, Mia would always remember that day on the bus, the moment when a simple act of kindness had changed everything. It wasn't just the job or the financial help that made the difference. It was the reminder that no matter how difficult life becomes, kindness and support from others can be the spark that changes the course of someone's life. Mia's first few weeks at the new job were challenging, but she quickly adapted. With each passing day, the weight of her past started to lift, and she began to see a brighter future for herself and Ben. She wasn't just surviving anymore, she was thriving. At home, Ben flourished too. His confidence grew and he was happier, starting to make friends and excel in school. Mia could see the difference in him and it filled her with pride. They were both moving forward. One evening, after a long day, Mia returned home to find Ben waiting for her with a drawing in his hand. It was of a house with a garden, just like the one Mia had always dreamed of. "I want us to have a home like this, Mom," Ben said, his eyes hopeful. Mia smiled, a lump in her throat. "One day, Ben. We will." Her life was changing, slowly but surely. Her job at the company became more rewarding, and she was eventually promoted. Her newfound confidence carried over to every area of her life, and she no longer felt like an outsider in the corporate world. Ben continued to thrive, and their bond grew stronger. Mia realized that she wasn't just working for financial stability, she was working to give Ben a future full of opportunities. Months later, Mia found herself at a company event, surrounded by colleagues and friends. She had earned the respect of her peers and was now a leader in her role. As she looked around, she realized how far she had come. The struggle of the past seemed so distant now. She had achieved something she once thought was impossible. One evening, Ben looked up at her after dinner, a thoughtful expression on his face. "Mom, do you think we're really going to be okay now?" Mia paused, feeling a sense of peace she hadn't felt before. "Yes, Ben, we're more than okay. We're going to be great. Mia had built a life she was proud of, and with each step forward, she knew that everything she had worked for was worth it. She and Ben had a future filled with possibilities.